In this video, we'll be discussing getting FLDIGI set up for Field Day 2022. Hello, my name is John, W7DBO, and this is the Field Radio channel. Thank you for clicking and tuning in on this continuing episodes for Field Day. And this one is going to be on getting your FLDIGI set up. Field Day is this week, and so it's time to make sure your software is up to date, you got your drivers, and everything's ready to go. And so this video, we're going to be covering getting set up with FLDIGI for PSK31 operation, getting macros going, and also getting it talking to your N3FJP logging software. That way you can search for dupes, and you can also automatically bring your contacts over. And so with that, we're going to get started. Oh, by the way, at the end, I kind of came up with a cool idea to work cables into the trailer, and so I'll share that at the end of the video. Okay, so I'm just getting set up on my computer, making sure everything's installed before we pull out of the house this week. So my radio and stuff is set up, but this is pretty much how I set up my computer. So I have a computer that's able to flip all the way around, so I can ditch the computer keyboard, the laptop keyboard that is not really that friendly. So I have an additional keyboard, which is really nice because it gives you the 10 key number pad. So if your laptop doesn't have a good keyboard on it, just ditch it and get a outside one, an external one. And then also I like using a trackpad, a trackball. This is what I normally use for work. It doesn't use up much real estate. So I have my laptop there, and then I have a second monitor, and this is simply just it's a DVD. It's an old monitor, but it runs on DC. It's meant for trailers. So that works as my second monitor, and then I just have one of my boxes that I'm using for ICOM accessories. I just go ahead and flip that on its side and set it up. So, and then of course everything I'm running battery operated is just going out of my Bioenno 40 amp hour battery in my box, my power box over there. So eventually what we'll do is we'll add the radio here to the table, and that'll complete the setup. Okay, so let's get into this. And one thing that is the reason why I showed you these two monitors is this is really great, because even though this is a not as a high res monitor, because it's kind of just an old DVD HDMI monitor, but the N3FJP software is very simple, nice interface, nice big interface, and it just works good as the top monitor. And then the more detailed, smaller resolution stuff I put on the screen. So I run FLDIGI on the bottom, and then I run my logging software on the top, and so I'm not having to open and close windows as I'm working contacts. Okay, so let's dive into the software. Okay, so the N3FJP software is version 6.6.3 that I was purchased from. N3FJP is a great provider of logs for us amateur radio operators. And then also FLDIGI you get over at SourceForge. So the version of FLDIGI that I'm running, so as you're kind of looking at this maybe later, for you're not seeing things that are lining up with your interface, this is 4.1.22, and so that's the version we're on. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to set up N3FJP, and so when it launches, you're already going to be prompted for your call, class, section, everything like that. But to get it talking to FLDIGI, it's a very simple process. You just go over to settings, and then application program interface, and then all you have to do is make sure that the TCP API enabled is checked, and it's a default port 1100. And so that's it. Just make sure that's checked and leave the defaults, and click done. And then over on FLDIGI, there's a couple things you need to do to get ready for Field Day. First of all, you need to go to Configure menu, and then we'll go to Contests, General, and then we'll select ARRL Field Day, and then Text Capture Order. I think this is default call, section, class, those other two. Duplicate check, I just kind of left all that. But just make sure you have that ARRL Field Day. And then when you select the next tab down, which is Field Day, this is where you put in your club call or your station call and your class. And so I'm W7DBO, class 1 Bravo, section Utah. Okay, and then the last thing we need to do is over on logging, we come down to N3FJP logs. We click this connect button, which I've already done, and port 1100, which is the default, and that little green box that says connected tells me that these two are already talking. Now, when you are working FLDIGI, you have to make sure N3FJP software is launched, and in the background or on another monitor, it's not going to automatically talk to a closed program. So you always have to leave the other program opened. Okay, so that's pretty much, that's your setup to get the two talking together. So let's go through the other thing you really need to do with FLDIGI is, and you want to make sure that your operating mode is set to PSK BSPK 31. That's always good. And then down here at the top, if you hit the little sweep button, it kind of clears out whatever it is. You'll notice you have the call and the class and the section. So there are now some new boxes up in your logging area. And so all you need to do at this point is just get interfaced to your radio, and then you're ready to go. Now, a nice thing to do is these macros down here at the bottom. So the macros are going to save you a lot of time. You're going to make your contests, your logging rate go up, your QSO rate go up. It's going to trying to type everything all the time is just hard. And so this is where the beauty of macros come in. So over here there's pages. I'm on page 1. These are the defaults, and page 2 has defaults. But on page 3, I've created some new defaults, and we'll walk through this and kind of show you what the macros I use for this. So the first one is if I'm calling CQ. So if you're programming this in, you could pause it here on this screen and see transmit. You always got to you got to put in that little command that says transmit, otherwise it just never keys the radio. And you put CQ field day. So like with Q codes, digital modes really wanted, spelling out field day takes up a lot of characters, which equals time. So CQFD, CQFD, and then my call, and that's because one thing I didn't show you here, but this automatically, when you launch FLDIGI, it has the operator station. It's grabbing my call from right here. So that's how it knows what my call is. So back to this, I'm just right-clicking. If I left-click, it would actually execute the macro, but I'm going to right-click on it, and it opens up the macro editor. And then over on the right has all the options you have here. So, caret my call. Caret is what my call is. So you have a ton of dynamic fields. And so I don't have to program in my call everywhere. I guess I could, but I just do CQ field day, my call, and then I do that twice. And then PSE, which is just shorthand for please. And then K means I'm ending the conversation, and I'm open to people talking to me. And so that's just another short code, K and PSE for please, and FD for field day. And of course, we all know CQ. Okay, so if I was calling CQ, if I was running the frequency, that's what I would do. And then over here on the blue side, this is if I'm hunting and pecking, if I'm the one answering what just happened. And so we'll open that one. And it's pretty much just transmit, call the station, this is, DE is, this is, my call, KN, saying ending transmission, but I'm not accepting new contacts. I want to talk just to this person. So that's what KN is. Oh, and then always make sure you put an RX at the end. Otherwise, the system does not know to stop transmitting, and you'll just sit there and just transmit dead air until you finally figure out why your transmit light's still on. Okay, so then the person would come back. So either I'm running the station in the green, or I am hunting and pecking in the blue. Okay, so somebody came back to me, and then I'm going to answer them. So I'm going to enable transmit. I'm going to call that station, please copy. So PSE, please, and copy CPY. My class, my section, bunch of spaces, my class, my section, QSL, back to you, BTU. This is my call, KN, ending transmission, expecting the station I'm talking to call back, not anybody else. And then, of course, we close. Now, another thing to remember is PSK31 is optimized for lowercase characters. If you put uppercase characters for all of this, it's just going to slow down. It's going to increase your transmit time, and then it slows down your QSO rate. So use lowercase where you can, but uppercase for call and section and stuff like that. That's fine. And we'll do a demo here in a minute. So, okay, so then I just came back and I acknowledged that station and I said, hey, copy my information. Now that we're talking, we don't need to go back anymore. Here's my information. And then if I am the receiving station, I have my second macro, which is I copy, please copy. And so this is going to kind of cut out around by just saying I copy your class, your section, or you could do your section. Sometimes, in fact, I'll just fix this right here. Just do class, section, and then class, section. That way they're paired together. Okay, so I copy your class, your section, your class, your section. Please copy my class, my section, my class, my section. QSL. So can you confirm? Back to you. This is me, KN, receive. Go back into receive mode. So just editing these, all I had to do was just hit apply and close, and that did that. Okay, so I come back with the fourth macro for the running station, and I transmit and I call the station again, and I say I copy your class, your section, your class, your section, QSL, confirm, back to you, and then receive mode. And then the hunting station, if it's correct, will come back, calling you back again and saying QSL, thanks, 7373, back to you, my call, and then just K this time, because you're not requesting a private conversation with anybody. It's just you're ending the conversation. So you've said 73 and you're ending it with a K. Go back into receive mode. And then the person running the station will come here and say, thanks, 73, QRZ, and then right back into QR, not even waiting, saying 73, because you're running the channel. You don't want to break because someone might jump in and start calling CQ. So right then you're QRZ, field day, QRZ, field day, my call, PS, please come back. Open K, meaning you're wanting to allow people to talk to you. And then, of course, you go into receive mode. Okay, so that is your basic exchange on PSK31. Now, there are some things that come up. Let's say you got a bad copy. So they came back to you with bad information on your call-in section. So you have a bad copy macro that transmits, calls the station, bad copy, please copy, my class, my section, my class, my section. And then I believe this is cut off here. Yep, I'm going to go to the third time. So I'm going to say, even a third time, my class, my section. Because at this time, normally you do twice of everything because PSK31 is not forward error correcting. So you may get gibberish. And so you want to kind of repeat everything twice. But now you know they didn't copy either of your two. So you're going to give them three. And QSL, can you confirm? Back to you, KN. Okay. So that's if it's a bad copy. What if you did not, they were garbled and you didn't get it? So you come back, station, again, please, back to you. And so you're just asking them to send it again. So, and you could put in, something here to say more about say again, but this is just pretty much just say again, please say again. Okay. And then if someone says say it again, like someone just said say it again, I say again, please copy, my class, my section, my class, my section, my class, my section, QSL, back to you. And so that handles kind of the exchange that would happen if you're getting some garbled transmissions. Okay, now what happens if it's just like you were able to establish their call sign, but then the conditions changed? something came in and the band's just faded, and you just want to say no joy. You just have this macro set up. Transmit sorry no copy 7373K, and then if you're the one running the station, you could quickly, as soon as this goes on, hit your CQ, and don't give a gap for anybody else. And then this is a way to end it. Or if you're not running the station, you're hunting and pecking, and you're just bands have faded, you're not able to get to them. This is just no joy. You're just kind of giving up on the contact and saying goodbye. Okay, so let me demonstrate how this works and how this interfaces with the N3FJP software. So what I did is I set up some pre-recorded audios to mimic the other side. So let's take this from the person running the station. So I'm running the station, so I'm going to left click on this, and I'm going to say CQ Field Day. And so you can see I'm starting to transmit. This is just on the sound card because it's not hooked up to a radio. So I'm just saying, in this macro, that's where my call is. It automatically put in my call. And then it comes back and ends transmitting. Now say somebody answered me. And so the way I'm going to mimic this is I've pre-recorded some audio for playback. And so I'm just going to come in here and grab this pre-recorded audio with the contact macro. And so this is just audio that's been pre-recorded, but it'll let you see kind of the as it comes back. So there it is. Somebody's coming back. W7DBO, W7DBO. This is KG7IVS. Hey, Chris. Acknowledge. So that's all it is that was that macro. So I'm like, okay, Chris, I hear you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to left click on your call sign, and that immediately right there put his call sign right there in the call box. So now when I hit answer, it's automatically, because that macro said call, the macro automatically is now putting that call sign in, and I'm saying, IVS, please copy 1 Bravo Utah, 1 Bravo Utah, QSL, back to you. This is W7DBO. And then so Chris has seen that. And so let me play back the audio that would come in if Chris hit the I copy, please copy macro. And so if Chris hit that macro on his end, he would come back with my call twice. And then he would say, I copy. 1 Bravo Utah, please copy. What is he? Oh, he's 2 Alpha Wyoming. QSL, back to you. This is a KG7 IVS. Okay, now he has now given me his call and his class, we already have his call, but we have his class in a section now. So the way that, remember that sequence of clicks? So if I left click on 2 Alpha, that's going to populate the class. And then if I click on Wyoming, left click again, I don't have to do anything else but left click, it's going to fill in section. Now, this doesn't always work. That's why you may have to quickly mouse up and fill this in manually. But because I clicked on class and section, I can go ahead and click the I copy macro. And so what it's going to do is it's going to call back Chris this time, and it's going to automatically populate 2 Alpha Wyoming, because those were the macros we had set up. And then it comes back to you. And then now that this is done, assuming we had a good read, so I read his right, Chris is going to send some thank you audio. So this is mimicking if Chris hit the QSL thanks. So we'll play that audio now. Okay, so my call, QSL, thanks, 7373, back to you. So he just signed off. And then I don't have to click anything other than if I want to continue running the station, I'll just click this macro that calls him back one last time, says thank you, 73, and then I go immediately right into QRZ, W7DBO, W7DBO. Please come back, anybody. Okay, so now the log is here. So what I'm going to do is there's this kind of little down arrow. It looks like you're pushing information on a card. It's a save button. I'm going to click save, and I've just clicked that once. And now let's switch over to N3FJP, and it is automatically logged. Chris, class, section, date, time, everything is logged, and then now Wyoming is turned blue, and so it's told me that log has already been done, and so it's automatically transferred everything over. Once you confirm it's transferred over, this is where having two monitors really works. I'm just in one monitor for the screen recorder. I just go ahead and click that sweep button, and that sweeps it out. Okay, so that's an example of if I'm running a station. Let's see what it looks like for the person that's hunting and pecking. Okay, so I'm going to play some audio as if Chris is calling CQ. Okay, so there's CQ field day, CQ field day. So as I'm seeing this coming in, I'm seeing over here someone's calling CQ, so I'm going to click on that to make sure I'm in line. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to click on
duplicate.
Oh, you hear? I don't know if you heard that audio. It came on pretty loud because N3FJP software, because I highlighted Chris's call, it popped in duplicate. And so now I've been warned not even to answer Chris back because it's a duplicate. And so this is how dupe checking will work between the two. You'll get that nice audio and confirmation, plus you see it turned red. Okay, so let's say we happen to be working 15 or 10. And so let's go back and see what happens, because you can contact people on additional bands. So, and also here you can see that turned red. Now this is probably going to turn red just because FLDIGI is telling you that this is a duplicate contact for you. And on the, let's see if we yeah, it's just going to come up there because the logging software inside this is also seeing it. But we want to trust the N3FJP because it understands that you can contact the same person in digital modes just as long as it's not a different band. So let's clear that out, and let's click Chris's call again. And so there we go. Interesting. Maybe N3FJP software actually pushed back the red. That would be a cool feature I did not know was around. Let's see. Let's go back to 20. And I'm just going to experiment here. Sorry, this might take a second, but this is really cool if this is what it did. And maybe somebody can tell me in comments, is like, yeah, it's been doing it for years, John, you just never noticed. Okay, so now we're back. The N3FJP thinks we're on 20 meters, so I'm going to click on call sign.
Duplicate.
Okay, so yeah, it didn't turn red that time, but the first time it turned red, so that's interesting. So we're there, and maybe if I come back to the screen, yeah, okay. All right, so maybe that's not, I don't know why it turned red, but that is cool. Okay, so we are a duplicate, and so N3FJP is not going to like that. And it's going to avoid us calling that person. So now we're not even going to call Chris because we've already worked him. So let's say now we're on 15. And we want to work him now on 15. And so I'm going to clear this, and then I'm going to click on his name. Okay, so we're on 15 now. Theoretically, we're not a duplicate because we can contact him again on 15 and have a QSO and get points. Okay, so because of that, I've clicked on call. So now I'm the hunting station. I'm going to click contact, and so it's just going to call Chris and say, Chris, this is John. Acknowledge me. And so there we go. And KN means we're wanting a private conversation. And then let me play back the audio as if Chris selected that answer button. So let's see if I have that audio here. Okay, so this is if Chris was responding on the other end. He's coming back, W7DBO, please copy to alpha. And you don't have to wait for this transmission to finish. I'm just going to go ahead and left click on the 2A, and I'm going to left click on the Wyoming. There we go. And for some reason that came in as a W7, it looks like. So that's interesting. But I have the Wyoming, so I got a correct copy on that. So now as soon as the transmission is done, I'm going to quickly click on iCopy because I had the 2 alpha in Wyoming already put in. And then, so it's going to come back and transmit all of my information. And it looks like I still got that hanging macro that's doing Utah twice. Oh, yep, there we go. I'm going to clean that up. That's the nice thing with this program is even on the fly, you can fix your macros. If things aren't working, people aren't responding like you expect, you can change up your macros. If you see someone doing something more efficient, this is kind of like what I've done based on what I've seen other people do. And if there's more efficient ways out there and I see people talking faster and they found a faster way to have the QSO, I'll change up these macros. So this is just kind of my best guess of what's most efficient, but people may have a better efficient method, and certainly comment below if you have a different set of macros that work more efficient or faster than this. This is just kind of the best I've seen so far through the years of Field Day. Okay, so I've transmitted that to Chris, and then so we're just going to assume that Chris is going to respond with the iCopy macro or something simpler, or something different. It doesn't have to be this exact macro. It's just the round of conversation you're having. So assuming that he used the iCopy macro, so this audio is now starting to come in from the bands, and it's calling me, and I'm looking at it and I'm saying, okay, 1 Bravo Utah, he's got a good copy on me. Back to you, and then as soon as it starts giving back to you, okay, so as soon as that transmission is done, I'm not going to even wait a second. I'm just going to immediately key up and come back, because the longer you take between transmit and receive, that also affects your QSO rate. So I'm just going to come back right there and say thank you, and then Chris will come back after I've said 73. He'll probably come back with that QSL QRZ. And so at this point, as the hunting station, I'm pretty much done. I've said 73. We've confirmed our contacts. And so I'm going to go ahead and click that. Let's see what it's doing here. Also, before I click that log button, you can see it's started to fill out. So it's filled out the call, it's the class, and the section. So if everything looks good here, I could hit enter right here, but a lot of times it's easier just in the FLDIGI program to click that enter. Oh, see, it thinks there's a duplicate, but it's logged. So let's go see why that. Oh, because I never changed my my band. My band was at 20. So let's go ahead and go back because I didn't update my band. Now, if your radio, which I'll probably do another video on this, I have the 7300, so it's kind of specific to 7300. But when your radio has cat control, the N3FJP, it's already going to know what band you're on. But you do have to tell it what mode you're on, because it doesn't know if you're on digital phone or CW. So I'm going to come back here again and say log. Duplicate. And it's still. Aha! So that's why. Okay, so FLDIGI sees I'm in the 20 meter band. And so it's not letting FLDIGI is sending the frequency to N3FJP, and it's pushing it back to 20. So that's cool. That keeps your two programs synced. if you don't have cat control. Now, if you do have cat control, no matter where you put your radio, FLDIGI and N3FJP software will follow. So that's cool. So that's why we're getting duplicate. And so it's just not letting me put in the second contact because it thinks we're up on the 20 meter band still. Okay, so I hope this video has been helpful. It's kind of been a little bit of a discovery process with me. I'm normally hooked up on cat control on my radio, and so I'm used to, I didn't really know those two were syncing together because I've usually had my radio hooked up to both N3FJP and FLDIGI, and so I assumed they were both getting their information from the radio, not from each other. And so that's cool. That tells you there's a little bit of redundancy there, especially if you don't have cat control. For some reason, or your cat control's not sending your frequency. So that's kind of cool, and we kind of noticed the duplicate working there, going back and forth. You at least get the audio prompt. If you don't have two monitors, you'll get alerted. And so hopefully this has been helpful. Now, something else that I've come across, now maybe people have already figured this out. I haven't. Maybe I'm slow to the game on this, but I have figured out the way you have a trailer. It's also the family trailer, not going to drill holes into the side of the family trailer to bring cables in, but also you don't want an open window, a screenless open window, running all your gear indoors, and you got to get your cables and your power, solar panel, everything like that out. So if you don't have a pass-through port and you don't want to cut a pass-through port in your trailer, I found this kind of idea, so let me grab the camera here and I'll move it over and show you. Okay, so what I've done here is I've taken a pool noodle and I've just cut it to length of the window, and then cut a slit in it. And so now what I can do is I can close the window up to the pool noodle. But what it's done is it's given me, as I kind of lift here, it's given me a pass-through port. So as many cables as I have coming in, I can push it up, and it just kind of naturally pushes down and puts pressure. So Now the hole for my cables coming in the trailer is the window, but I don't have exposed the whole window, and even though this is a curved window, it's still working. So let me open the window here. This is how we normally pass cables through, and then you have all this open. So this is a pool noodle that's simply just been cut down one side, kind of just forming a U shape, and then it's nice and removable. You can take it off when you're not using it. Now I can close the window all the way. Normally my cables, if I stack them up, because I just have like power and a couple antenna lines, it would just be like that. But then you have this whole gap up here, and we've tried stuffing shirts in and stuff like that, and it just hasn't been as nice. So anyway, this is kind of an idea I've had. Maybe other people have already had this idea, but this is kind of a cool way to turn camper windows into pass-through windows, temporarily of course, and not let all the bugs in, or the cold air out, or the cold air in, depending on where you are. Okay, like I said, I hope you found this video helpful. It's field day week. Today's Monday. We're getting the software set up. Tomorrow I'll be dropping another video on getting FT8 set up for the field to work with N3FJP software, and then Wednesday we're heading up the mountain, and so Wednesday's video, we'll be doing a video every day this week. Wednesday's video will be getting the site secured, and then starting with our setup, trying to get stuff ready and test it out, maybe put up some test antennas, see what's going on with the bands. Thursday, official setup on Friday, put up our permanent structures, and then get everything ready. And then a Saturday video, may do a live stream. We'll see. Saturday and Sunday, with the Starlink, we have good enough connectivity up there. We should be able to do maybe a live stream during field day. And then after a while of sleep, in a week or so, we'll come back with a after action report on how field day went. So stay tuned this week. Keep a close eye on the notifications. We'll be dropping videos every day. And so, as always, get your gear, get outdoors this weekend. It's Field Day 2022.